Hey, what's going on, guys? This is your boy Luis. Thanks for tuning in for another episode. On this video, I'm gonna show you how to take this 2003 Toyota Sequoia looking like this to looking like this. Got some parts laid out over here involving basic parts, nothing crazy. Basically OEM spec shocks and springs, some lower ball joints, and a 3-inch spacer. And it's not going on the Supra, it's not going on the Tacoma. We're gonna do a transformation video on the Sequoia. All right, guys, so before we get started, I just want to simply say that I did not get high-end parts to lift up the Sequoia. The Sequoia, I hardly ever do any four-wheeling. It is a four-wheel drive model. It's the 2003 limited four-wheel drive. Basically, I take it every day to work and back. Occasional off-roading, maybe once every 3 months or whatever. Sometimes even longer than that. Or every 2 or 3 times a year to go camping. That's about it. All the other times I take it grocery shopping, take it to work and back, and that's about it. So I am not an expert, and this is just a tutorial video on how I changed my Sequoia from OEM to a 3-inch lift. And then on top of that, I did not buy the highest end quality parts. So go ahead and leave all your comments down below. So other than that, let's get started. So let me show you guys what I'm working with. Basically here I have Amazon generic, basically OEM spec replaceable shocks and springs. The front, I went with the ones that are already pretty much assembled, just because I did not want to rent a spring compressor or deal with all that. Not that expensive. I'll link everything down below. So all I'm gonna do here is basically put the front 3-inch spacer and bolt them up to the top. These struts are called strut flex or strut text, whatever the case may be. I really do not care. I want to emphasize, I do not care. My shocks are pretty much blown on the Sequoia, so these are gonna ride fantastic. For how long? Who knows? I don't care. I'm gonna test them out. Okay, so that being said, I also have new, not OEM, lower ball joints. These are Mug, however you want to say them, 555. I don't care how you say them. I know I'm gonna get a lot of comments on this. I do not care, guys. Yes, everybody's gonna say, well, you're doing a 3-inch spacer lift and you put crappy lower ball joints. It should be fine, guys. Mixed reviews on these. I went ahead and bought them. So there you go. Go ahead and comment down below. Leave me your opinions on that. Anyways, I also got a 3-inch spring spacer for the rear and 3-inch spacer strut spacer for the front. And that's pretty much it. That's all we're gonna be doing. So all the parts will be linked down below to my Amazon storefront, or the link to Rock Auto for these lower ball joints. So yep. All right, boys, once you have the truck jacked up, jack for safety, we're basically gonna remove the nut for the sway bar link, and then we're gonna remove the shock nut down here, and then the ones on the top right here, and then we're gonna make our ways down to the lower ball joints and then go piece by piece. All right, guys, look how bad these bushings were. I mean, in certain areas I could see pretty much across to the other side, so these were due for a change. So yeah, let's throw these on. The springs look a little different, so we'll see when we throw them on right now. All right guys, so as you guys can see here, I have mounted the 3-inch spacer, the shock, and as you guys can see this here, the actual mounting point is kind of clocked, a little weird. Some people will start freaking out and they're like, oh my gosh, what the hell, what's going on? They don't fit. All you gotta do is simply put a screwdriver in here or anything that fits in here and then turn it. That's all you gotta do. You don't gotta start freaking out and send the manufacturer an email as to why they're not clocked right. There you go, see? Grab their long extension, put it in here, turned it, clocked it, it's good to go. Now the hardest part is gonna get to actually get the control arm to go all the way down, but I am actually gonna remove the tension from the sway bar and get that working. All right, so some of you guys struggle to get this down. I actually had to do the same for the Tacoma, so I'm gonna show you a little trick. All you gotta do is grab your jack's bar, cram it in here, get somewhere where you could get leverage, a bolt or something. Some people disconnect the lower or loosen the lower control arms. I do not do that. I just feel like I don't need to. And then all you gotta do, put pressure down here and watch it come down. Get it lower enough so that you could push the shock in, put the bolt in, and then you'll be good to go. All right guys, so as the front suspension is pretty much set, I'm gonna prepare the wheels, and by prepare them, I mean I'm giving them a makeover. I'm taking them from this to this. So excuse the mess in the backyard, but this is the look that I'm doing. So I'm doing like a metallic gold with the black lip, and I personally think they stand out big time. So yeah guys, so I'm gonna do that with the rest of the wheels and start to throw these on. All right boys, so we have a problem. She's lifted now. The front definitely a lot higher. New shocks will do that, but the OEM studs do not clear the mounting points on the wheels, so I cannot mount those. So plan B, I either get wheel spacers to clear hopefully those wheels, or I have to get extended wheel studs and have those mounted, which is a pain. I have never liked doing that. But as you guys can see, she definitely sits a lot higher now. Some positive camber going on there. That's to be expected. All right, so I'm having a very hard time pretty much loosening the, where is it at? I'm having a hard time getting to the, not getting to it, but loosening the nut that's on top. I could get the pretty much the wrench in there, turns and everything, but it just spins and spins. So since I'm not gonna use these shocks anymore, I'm gonna go ahead and kind of pretty much cut this rubber boot open, and I'm gonna get some vice grips and basically hold the shaft and tighten the hell out of it and see if we can get it off. All right boys, so excuse the flickering from the LED light, but I struggled like a mother sucker getting these things off. The top is already off. I already took the nuts off, but let me show you guys what I did. I basically got to the point where I ripped the boot off of the shaft or the shock, the strut, whatever you want to call it. I don't know if you can see here, I made 2 grooves on each side, and this gave me enough leverage to pretty much place a wrench here, hold this in place, or let it turn all the way around till it locked into the until it locked right here. I forgot the damn name. So that locked in place, and that gave me the ability to loosen up the nut on the top, and this prevented this from the shaft from actually spinning. So final step for this is just pretty much take this bad boy off, get some pliers, pull the sucker out, and the shock should come off. All right, so just a quick reminder, this is basically the orientation that the bushings go. The frame sits right here. So we got a washer, bushing, washer, frame, washer with the lip towards the bottom, because this lip sits inside the frame. It kind of falls in there. Bushing, washer, nut. So, yep. I don't know if these are OEM or whatever. Yep, OEM shocks. Well, they lasted 250,000 miles, roughly, because my truck's about to hit 300,000. These definitely look a lot smaller, so I honestly don't know how long these are gonna last. But I'm not too worried about it because I'm gonna have airbags in the rear. So, yep. All right, guys, so shocks are out from the bottom. Disconnected the torsion bar from the rear, so there's no tension on the rear axle. I disconnected basically both end links for the sway bar right here on both sides. So I don't know if you guys can see this, but I don't even have the jack in the bottom. And basically, if I put enough pressure here, like, I could already rotate my spring. So, all right, guys, as always, use the tools that you guys have laying around as your disposal to your advantage. Once again, I used the jack's bar to create tension right here. I basically did this, pulled down. I didn't even have to use the jack. I didn't even have to use a jack. This is all I did right here. And I was able to create enough leverage to remove the rear bump stop and spring. And we could try to install the spacer. So got the rear 3-inch spacer. Once I cut the rear bump stop, this is all we're gonna do. Drop that in there. The spring is gonna sit right here. Obviously this is gonna be like this, but you guys get the idea. All right, we got the Airlift 1000 series on here. We got the bags right here. Basically what's gonna happen is this is gonna be dropped in here like this, all the way down. I'm not exactly sure where it falls or where it's supposed to go, but somewhere in the middle, I'm assuming. I already cut, basically left one little ring. I have the line going through the top. This is gonna go in here via, and then I have a little clamp that's gonna go on top of the little holes right there, and then this I'm gonna run it through the top, and then we'll figure out somewhere to put it. But yeah. All right, everyone, so as you guys can see, I got the OEM bottle jack out. Placed the brick on the axle, give it some leverage, got the bottle jack right here. Honestly, there's not that much tension on the rear axle, so getting it down was not a problem. I did, however, I disconnected this bracket for the brake line, but I also disconnected that one right here, because honestly this was getting tension and I did not want anything to rip. But as you guys can see, spacer seated up there, airbag is in there, spring is in there. We are good to go. Pretty much repeat the same process on the other side and we'll be good to go, guys and girls. Alright everyone, so shocks are pretty much mounted. These bolts down here are not tightened yet, just because I'm gonna wait for the weight to be on the shocks to properly tighten them down so the bushings don't wear prematurely. Shocks are on, bushings on top are good, everything's tightened down. If you guys notice, I ended up taking out the airbags just because I think I bought the wrong ones. They were only about like right here, and compared to some other ones that I've seen other people use, they actually go from here all the way to the top to where the bump stop is. Now, I don't know, maybe I shouldn't have cut the bump stops and they would have been the proper size, but just the ones that I've seen other people use on their Sequoias, they're definitely a lot longer, their airbags for that matter. So unfortunately, I'm either gonna have to return those or sell those and then buy the proper ones. Either way, I could always just squeeze the airbags in between the spring coils, and then I won't have to take the springs out. So as far as that goes, got all the wheels pretty much ready to go. If you guys remember, I did mention that I had an issue with the studs not being long enough. Well, actually, it was just because these OEM lug nuts were not gonna work. I actually bought some new lug nuts, and everything's linked down below in my Amazon storefront. Made in China, baby. The best of the best. Anyways, these are pretty much extended neck lug nuts. So basically from here to here is extended, and that gives me plenty of thread to pretty much tighten everything down. They kind of go on normally actually. It was just the fact that the OEM ones were not gonna fit. But that being said, guys, suspension is pretty much done. I'm gonna go ahead and mount the wheels, and I'm gonna show you guys tomorrow morning. Take her to give it a wash and show you how she looks. All right, everyone. So suspension is pretty much done. The wheels are on. I'm not gonna show you guys exactly how it looks yet because I wanna go wash it and do some other stuff. A couple add-ons I wanna do. I have these amber smoked out markers basically for the front. I'm gonna add them to the grill somehow. And actually also I bought some gloss black peelable vinyl coating, and this is specifically for all of my badges. So I'm gonna do gloss black on those, and then also on the trim right here all the way up to the top, and then I'm gonna try to do that to these right here too. Those also I'm going to be removing the side steps, give it a little better stance. All right, everyone, doing the typical, blacking out the emblems. All right, doing gloss black, doing the limited signs on the side. I'm also going to be touching up the trim since all of this is the black already peeled off and this looks pretty much ugly. I'm going to be doing gloss black on this too, the side pillars right here on the doors, so hopefully it looks better. Probably not the best, but it will definitely look better.
Purchase your tracks today.
Alright everyone, there you have it. Transformation is done on the Sequoia. It's pretty much all done for now. Little touch-ups here and there, but I gotta say the hardest part about this transformation was definitely removing the rear shocks, especially because those are the OEM KYB shocks that came from factory. Truck has right now 294,000 miles. So those are definitely due for a change. I gotta say those cheap eBay or Amazon shocks, they ride amazing compared to like the blown shocks. We'll see how long they last. But other than that, let me know if you guys have any questions. She's leaking a little bit of oil there. Don't mind that. Gotta fix it. But yeah, retrofitted projectors, both sides, yellow fog lights added. Let me know what you guys think.